much better are these quarterbacks really gonna be on their new teams?
Just really focused on right now and being a Carolina Panther and, pumped up to do so.
Which teams picked up the best new signal caller, and which teams had to settle for the worst? Here's a look at our rankings for the 8 starting quarterbacks who find themselves on new teams heading into 2022. Number 8, Drew Lock, Seattle Seahawks. For the first time in 11 years, the Seahawks are entering a season without Russell Wilson on the roster. Life comes at you fast, alright. The never-ending trade rumors finally came to an end in the offseason when the Seahawks dealt the franchise icon to the Denver Broncos in a blockbuster trade that will change the landscape of the NFL for years to come. The Seahawks received former Broncos starter and 2019 second-round pick Drew Lock as a part of their return for Wilson. Seattle is running a QB competition between Lock and veteran backup Geno Smith, but we're gonna roll with the assumption that the former lands the Week 1 starting job. After all, Lock is younger and has much higher upside. But let's be serious here, even if Smith were to get the starting job, like Lock, he too would land firmly on the bottom of our list. But continuing with the assumption that Lock will win the starting job, we don't expect a whole lot from him in this position. Sure, the Seahawks have several dynamic weapons like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Fant, but Lock also did very little with a stellar supporting cast in the Mile High City. The bottom line, look for Lock to struggle during year 1 in the Pacific Northwest. On the bright side, having Lock or Smith under center all season will likely help Seattle land one of the top QB prospects from the deep 2023 draft class. Number 7, Marcus Mariota, Atlanta Falcons. By the time he takes the field for Week 1, it will have been 4 years since the last time Mariota was the primary starter throughout a full season. And it will have been 3 years since he last started a game. And he's going to a rebuilding Falcons team that is arguably the worst roster in the league. It's not an exaggeration. Honestly, it's a miracle that Matt Ryan got 7 wins out of this group a season ago. Mariota, who signed a 2-year deal in free agency, is simply a bridge to Atlanta's next QB. They had to find someone after giving away Matty Ice to the Indianapolis Colts for the low price of a 3rd-round pick. Mariota has never been a bad QB, but he's also never been a very good one. The dual-threat QB has struggled with accuracy and has 44 career picks in 63 games. He's only thrown 20 touchdown passes in a season once. Sure, he will have rising star tight end Kyle Pitts, promising rookie receiver Drake London, and do-it-all utility weapon Cordarrelle Patterson. But Mariota also plays behind an O-line that was just ranked 28th by Pro Football Focus heading into 2022. And he better not expect a lot of help from his defense. The number 2 pick of 2015 is in no position to succeed in 2022. Number 6, Mitch Trubisky, Pittsburgh Steelers. Are we the only one who feels like Trubisky could do some good things here in Pittsburgh, considering that he was 29-21 as the starter on a mediocre Chicago Bears team with 64 touchdowns against 37 picks? Not to mention, he took that long-time losing franchise to the playoffs not once, but twice. The guy obviously has some potential. And we can't just help but like his chances of serving as an upgrade over Ben Roethlisberger. This team somehow made the playoffs last year, even though Big Ben could barely throw the ball beyond 5 yards. Unlike Chicago, Trubisky is in a position to succeed here in the Steel City. After all, Mike Tomlin has squeezed wins out of random guys like Charlie Batch, Dennis Dixon, and Mason Rudolph. And Trubisky will have the fortunes of playing with 1,000-yard back Najee Harris and a deep receiver room that features Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Pat Freiermuth, and super skilled rookie George Pickens. If Trubisky can't put it together, Pitt will hand the keys over to rookie Kenny Pickett. But if Trubisky was able to find some success during his days in Chicago, please don't rule out his chances of reviving his career in Pittsburgh. Number 5, Baker Mayfield, Carolina Panthers. It took the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers long enough to complete this trade, but hey, better late than never. Mayfield was on borrowed time once the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson. Meanwhile, the Panthers needed a new QB after what they saw from Sam Darnold, PJ Walker, and Cam Newton last year. GM Scott Fitterer was patient throughout the process before finally making a play for the top pick of the 2018 draft. And good on him, because it only cost the low price of a 2024 5th-round pick. Dare we say, Mayfield is actually in position to succeed here in Carolina. He has a nice set of weapons in star wideout DJ Moore and hopefully a healthy Christian McCaffrey. We can also see some improved production from sophomore wideout Terrace Marshall Jr. The Panthers also improved their offensive line this offseason by adding rookie sensation Ike Mekwonu and veterans Austin Corbett and Bradley Bozeman. With Run CMC in the backfield and a young, stingy defense holding down the fort on the other side of the ball, Baker won't have to win games on his own in Carolina. He will have plenty of support around him. And don't forget that Mayfield led Cleveland to an 11-win season and their first playoff berth since 2002. He needed a fresh mental reset and a new opportunity following a frustrating year in the land. Honestly, we wouldn't be surprised if he enjoyed a bounce-back season with the Panthers. Number 4. Carson Wentz, Washington Commanders. Some of you will certainly scoff at Wentz's ranking in the top half here, and hey, we get it. The thing is though, when you look at their careers thus far, Wentz appears to have found more success than any of the 4 guys behind him on this list. We've seen Wentz do some great things with 2 different teams. The talent is there. He just has to stop being so careless with the football when it matters most. After 1 year in Indianapolis, Wentz was traded to the QB-needy Commanders. In a surprise move, Washington sacrificed 2 third-round picks for the former second overall pick. It's a high asking price, no doubt, but let's be real, Wentz is still an upgrade over any QB Washington has used since moving on from Kirk Cousins in 2018. And maybe, just maybe, Ron Rivera is the guy to help Wentz get his groove back. Let's not overlook the supporting cast he has in DC either. Superstar Terry McLaurin, 1,000-yard back Antonio Gibson, tight end Logan Thomas, and rookie receiver Jahan Dotson are 4 high-end weapons for Wentz. Trust us, you could do a lot worse than that. And don't forget, Riverboat Ron is one of the game's most aggressive offensive play callers, whereas Colts head coach Frank Reich often tried playing it too safe in close games with Wentz. You gotta trust your QB to win at the end of the day. So maybe Rivera's risky habits will actually improve Wentz's confidence. Number 3. Deshaun Watson, Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns sold the farm and alienated a large portion of their fans by trading for Deshaun Watson. They made the choice of taking on the PR backlash, and ownership will just have to live with it. Even from a purely football standpoint, it is odd that the Browns would give up a giant package that includes 3 first-round picks for a guy who hasn't taken a snap in over a year, and is looking at a significant suspension to start the 2022 season. And if the 3 first-round picks weren't enough, Cleveland then went out and handed their new QB a massive 5-year deal worth a fully guaranteed $230 million. To say that the Browns are risking it all with Watson would be quite the understatement. Watson is a 3-time Pro Bowler who threw for 4,823 yards and 33 touchdowns on a 4-win Houston Texans squad in 2020. There is no denying that he is in a way better position to succeed on a star-studded Browns team that features a top 5 offensive line, the league's best running back duo, and a perennial Pro Bowler in Amari Cooper. Watson would be number 2 on our list if he didn't have all those off-the-field issues following him to Cleveland. But it's difficult to ignore all the outside noise, not to mention the possible rust and chemistry issues that we're likely to see once he returns from his suspension. Yes, Watson is an upgrade over Mayfield, but it could take some time for the former Texan to find that Pro Bowl form with his new team, if he even finds it at all. Number 2. Matt Ryan, Indianapolis Colts. The Falcons have been an afterthought since their Super Bowl 51 collapse, so we don't blame anyone for overlooking Matt Ryan's consistent production. 2021 marked his first season of falling under 4,000 passing yards since 2010. But come on, that's gonna happen when Russell Gage is your number 1 wideout for the majority of the year, and you have a horrid O-line, a non-existent running game, and a bottom 5 defense in points allowed. Ryan is a consistent 4,000-yard / 30-touchdown threat. And quite frankly, the roster he has in Indianapolis is significantly better than those he's had with the Falcons. Considering that the Colts have arguably the league's top offensive line, the reigning rushing champion in Jonathan Taylor, a championship-caliber defense that feasts off of turnovers, and a 1,000-yard receiver in Michael Pittman Jr., oh, and not to mention a head coach who won a Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017, yeah, we'd say he's due for some progress. Matty Ice can still play. and we have no doubts that he'll turn the Colts right back into a Super Bowl contender. It was sad to see Ryan's storied tenure in Atlanta end on a very sour note. The Falcons alienated him when they heavily pursued a trade for Deshaun Watson. That ultimately forced them to trade Ryan to Indy for just a third-round draft pick. Not that the Colts are complaining, and Ryan shouldn't either. For the first time since his 2016 MVP season, Ryan is playing on a bona fide Super Bowl championship contending team. And he won't have to do as much with Taylor in that defense leading the way. A big-time bounce-back season awaits Matty Ice. Number 1. Russell Wilson, Denver Broncos. Was there ever any real doubt who is taking the top spot? Wilson is a top 10 quarterback in the game, and he's on a Denver Broncos team that is much better than the group he had in Seattle last year. The Broncos have been plagued by quarterback woes since Peyton Manning's 2016 retirement. Finally, no more relying on guys like Brock Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, Case Keenum, or Drew Lock. Wilson joins a loaded Denver offense that features 3 capable 1,000-yard receivers in Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and Jerry Jeudy. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon can both push for 1,000 yards on the ground, and third-year tight end Albert Okwebunam is a sleeping giant waiting to break out. Rookie head coach Nathaniel Hackett is also seemingly keen on building the offense around the perennial Pro Bowler, something Pete Carroll inexplicably refused to do. Denver wants to win with their new star QB, which is exactly how it should be. And that puts Wilson in the best possible position to succeed. Oh, and the Broncos only had the 3rd best scoring defense in the league last year, while the Seahawks defense was getting significantly worse in each passing year. So Wilson won't be under pressure to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every single game anymore. Oh joy! It's gonna be a fun year in Mile High City. As if the fans weren't spoiled enough by the Stanley Cup winning Avalanche or Nikola Jokic's 2nd straight MVP season. But which starting quarterback on a new NFL team do you think will have the best 2022 campaign? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.